The 10 most mysterious places on Earth. Footage from expeditions that captured terrifying scenes by chance. Even top scientists were shocked on the spot. On this beautiful blue planet we call home, every corner of the Earth hides secrets, dark, mysterious, and beyond imagination. From the fiery door to hell buried in the desert, to the silent lakes high in the Himalayas. These places are sacred mysteries to fearless explorers. Each one is like a portal to a world we have yet to understand. Today, follow us on a journey with the world's extremes as we unveil 10 of the most mysterious places on the planet. #10 The Yonaguni Submarine Ruins. If you ever get the chance to dive off the coast of Yonaguni Island, Okinawa, prepare to be amazed. You might witness a natural wonder that defies belief. A marvel of the deep. It's a lost city hidden beneath the waves, buried in the deep blue ocean. Just about 100 kilometers off the coast of Taiwan. This site was first discovered in 1986. And since then, it has captured the world's attention. Not just for its size and structure, but for the deep mystery it holds within. It was a local diving tour guide in 1986 who accidentally stumbled upon these perfectly aligned stone formations. From that moment on, rumors and theories about the ruins never stopped. They spread like wildfire. Marine geologist Masaaki Kimura and his team conducted over 100 dives to investigate further. Little by little, they uncovered the ruins' secrets. They discovered that the formations closely resembled ancient city ruins, towering steps, platforms and roadways, everything you'd expect from a city swallowed by the sea thousands of years ago, all waiting to be uncovered and understood. The sheer size of the Yonaguni ruins is mind-blowing. It leaves visitors speechless. Clear pathways connect the massive structures together. It's as if a fully developed city once thrived underwater. But the most breathtaking of all is a colossal temple-like monument. The temple itself stretches about 140 meters wide and 30 meters high. It consists of neatly aligned stone blocks, some of which even bear traces of animal carvings. But who built these incredible structures? And did they once witness the rise and fall of a brilliant, long-forgotten civilization? Based on carbon dating and archaeological analysis, scientists speculate that these formations could be at least 10,000 years old. But in such a primitive era, who could have possessed the knowledge and power to build something so vast? To this day, these questions remain unanswered. Some researchers, however, offer a more cautious interpretation. They believe these massive formations might have been shaped entirely by nature. After all, similar geological patterns can be found across the globe, like Monument Valley in the United States, or the Giant's Causeway in Ireland. Incredible landscapes formed by wind and erosion, all shaped by the hand of nature. Moreover, around the site itself, no clear traces of human activity have been found, which strengthens the argument for a natural origin. However, other bold theories propose that this mysterious site may have once stood on dry land in ancient times. Then, due to powerful tectonic shifts, the land sank, dragging the entire city into the depths of the ocean. This theory naturally calls to mind the legendary lost city of Atlantis. Could the Yonaguni ruins share the same fate? It's hard to ignore. Interestingly, despite all the intrigue surrounding the site, Japan's official archaeological institutions have yet to launch a formal investigation. This lack of research has left a void fueling even more public fascination and speculation about this mysterious underwater monument. But whatever the true story behind the ruins may be, the Yonaguni underwater ruins offer us a unique window into the past, allowing us to catch a glimpse of Earth's hidden and mysterious history. These unanswered questions are what drive us to keep exploring, pushing deeper into the unknown. #9 Socotra Island. The moment you step onto Socotra Island, you might wonder, have I left Earth entirely? This otherworldly island lies in the middle of the Indian Ocean, far off the Horn of Africa, surrounded by crystal clear waters, dotted with white sand dunes, dry yellow soil, and scattered rocky terrain. Socotra may be the most alien-looking place on Earth. Its bizarre landscapes and isolated ecosystem radiate a surreal, almost magical charm. Part of Yemen, Socotra Island spans about 3,650 square kilometers. The name Socotra is said to come from Sanskrit, meaning island of bliss or happiness island. Its ecosystem is nothing short of a living evolutionary lab. It's home to over 700 unique animal species and 825 rare plant species, 1/3 of which exist nowhere else on Earth. In fact, 90% of its reptiles and 95% of its land snail species are endemic to the island. It boasts 253 species of soap corals, 730 coastal species, and over 300 types of crabs, lobsters, and shrimp along its shores. Socotra Island is often called a living museum of evolution. Time seems to have stood still here, preserving millions of years of Earth's biological evolution. Among all its surreal natural wonders, one of the most unforgettable sights on Socotra is its towering alien-like trees, the legendary dragon blood trees. These bizarre trees have umbrella-like canopies that look like giant outstretched mushrooms. Their trunks twist and bend like the legs of a contortionist. Their surfaces are covered with intricate, vein-like patterns of twisted branches. The dragon blood tree gets its name from its crimson sap and red-tinged leaves, believed to be the blood of dragons. During the Middle Ages, this sap was used in magical rituals. Of course, if you don't need it for spells. It also served as a natural dye, as well as paint and varnish. From above, when looking down, these trees look like massive green mushrooms sprouting from the earth. Especially during blooming season, the entire landscape becomes a dreamscape, as if you've stepped into a garden on another planet. In addition, another beautiful and mysterious plant grows on the island, the desert rose. Its thick, elephant leg-like trunk emerges straight from cracks in solid stone. In the past, its parts were used as a source of food by islanders. With its bizarre shape and vividly bright flowers, one can't help but wonder, how does such a plant survive and thrive in such a dry, remote land? And not just the plants and animals. Even the way of life on Socotra Island seems untouched by modern civilization. Completely untouched. Around 50,000 people live on the island, most relying on fishing and herding for survival. They speak a language used nowhere else on Earth but here, the Socotra language. The island's inhabitants are primarily descendants of southern Arabs, with some Somali and Indian ancestry mixed in. Even more fascinating, the bloodlines of some Socotran women cannot be found anywhere else on the planet. Which raises the question, could the history of Socotra be far more ancient and mysterious than we ever imagined? According to scientists, Socotra Island broke off from the African continent about 20 million years ago. Its unique flora and fauna have evolved independently in complete isolation ever since. Over time, this isolation gave rise to the unique ecosystem we see today. Stone tools dating back to 4000–3000 BCE have also been discovered on the island, suggesting that even in ancient times, humans had already set foot on Socotra. Perhaps they came in search of frankincense, or for the rare medicinal leaves of the dragon blood tree. Maybe it's this deep sense of mystery that defies simple explanation by modern science that makes Socotra one of the most fascinating expedition destinations on Earth. In this remote and untouched paradise, one can truly witness the majesty of nature and feel a sense of peace that transcends time and space. #8. The Zone of Silence. In the Mapimi Basin in northern Mexico, there lies a mysterious and awe-inspiring region, the Zone of Silence, and its name is no exaggeration. In 1966, an engineer named Harry Berlia, working for Mexico's National Oil Company, was surveying the area when suddenly all electronic equipment completely stopped working. Compasses spun wildly, and radios went dead, as if he had stepped into a black hole disconnected from the world. Berlia called this place the Zone of Silence because electromagnetic waves seemed to be mysteriously blocked from penetrating the region. No signal radio, compass, or otherwise could escape or enter. And strangely, this Zone of Silence seems to attract something else: visitors from outer space. Throughout the 20th century, the area was repeatedly hit by large meteorites. In 1938 and again in 1954, two separate meteorites fell in exactly the same spot. In 1969, British astronomer Bernard Lovell tracked a meteor approaching Earth's atmosphere. As it burned and broke apart in the sky, its largest fragment suddenly veered off course and crashed right at the edge of the Zone of Silence. All these eerie coincidences raise unsettling questions. Is there some unknown force at work here, calling down these celestial objects from space? However, the mysteries of this land don't stop there. In 1970, a U.S. NASA Athena rocket malfunctioned and crash-landed right in this area. Search teams entered the Zone of Silence to retrieve the wreckage, but their radar systems were completely unresponsive. The monitors showed nothing but static. After weeks of manual searching, they finally located the rocket remains at the heart of the zone. It's said that when the Americans took the wreckage, they also removed several tons of sand, claiming that the sand had been contaminated by radioactive material. Coincidentally, in 1976, Mexico's National Institute of Nuclear Energy sent experts to investigate the site. They found that electromagnetic waves behaved abnormally here. Transverse waves passed through, but longitudinal waves were completely blocked, a phenomenon known as radio silence. Later, a research team from the University of Guadalajara also confirmed that radiation levels in the region were unusually high. These discoveries only deepened the mystery of the Zone of Silence. To explain these strange phenomena, scientists have put forward many theories. The most popular one involves the Earth's magnetic field. It suggests that beneath the surface of this zone lies a powerful electromagnetic energy field. And perhaps this is the reason why rockets and meteorites seem drawn to this very spot, and why radar systems go dark. Some speculate that this may be a place where the Earth's core lies unusually close to the surface, generating intense magnetic activity. Others believe this could be a power station left behind by extraterrestrials, or even an experimental base for some unknown advanced technology. But so far, none of these theories have been confirmed by hard evidence, and the zone of silence remains shrouded in layers of unsolved mystery. 7. The Hessdalen Lights. In central Norway, near the town of Hessdalen, lies a peaceful little valley called Hessdalen. During the day, it's a breathtaking place, surrounded by mountains, with crystal-clear lakes, like a hidden paradise untouched by time. But once night falls, this peaceful land is illuminated by mysterious lights. These are known as the Hessdalen Lights. This magical and stunning phenomenon has appeared frequently since 1981, lighting up the skies above the valley at night. Locals often describe them as ghostly lights dancing in the heavens. Sometimes, they float close to the ground, as if gliding gracefully above the village. Other times, they hover high in the sky, remaining stable for hours, as if quietly observing the world below. However, interestingly, these lights often move along a fixed north-south direction. Sometimes, they group into formations, maintaining precise distances from one another, like a dazzling aerial display in the night sky. Between 1981 and 1984, these lights were seen more than 20 times a week. Even today, there are still at least 20 sightings reported every year. Even more strangely, it's been observed that, when the lights appear, nearby power lines often experience sudden blackouts. Then, just as mysteriously, power is restored once the lights vanish. So, are these truly ghosts from the sky? In early 1984, a team of 40 scientists launched an expedition into the Hessdalen Valley to investigate the mystery. Their findings suggested that the lights may be linked to powerful electromagnetic fields. The researchers reported feeling wave-like tremors throughout the valley, and magnetic detectors confirmed that Hessdalen does indeed have abnormally strong magnetic activity. And whenever the lights appear, those magnetic fields fluctuate violently. Researchers also found, when scientists pointed lasers at the light spheres, their flickering frequency instantly doubled. Once the laser was removed, the lights returned to normal. Though these reactions have been replicated in experiments, the true nature of the lights remains unexplained. While the Hessdalen Lights are wrapped in mystery, they are not the only mysterious glowing phenomenon on Earth. Back in the 19th century, ghost lights were reported in a small town in Missouri, USA, a place called Hornet. These glowing orbs behaved strangely, darting across fields or vanishing in midair. Locals often saw them floating in their backyards, hovering outside bedroom windows, or moving down porches in silence. In Thailand, along the Mekong River, glowing fireballs rise from the water. Between dusk and midnight, as many as 200 to 800 of them every year. Regardless of the cause, the Hessdalen Lights remain one of Norway's most captivating unsolved phenomena. Even with today's rapid scientific advances, the mystery behind the lights continues to challenge our understanding. 6. The Blood Falls. Can you imagine a waterfall in Antarctica that flows with blood-red liquid? This shocking phenomenon is known as blood falls, and it pours from Taylor Glacier in southern Victoria Land. It was first discovered by humans in 1911. At the time, explorers were stunned to see bright red water suddenly burst from cracks in the glacier's frozen face, like nature itself had carved a crimson wound across the icy expanse of Antarctica. But scientists quickly discovered the liquid was not blood, nor did it come from any living creature. Instead, the red color is the result of a special kind of chemical reaction. In 2003, researchers revealed the truth. The color comes from a lake beneath a glacier, sealed off for millions of years and rich in iron and minerals. When that mineral-laden water emerges and reacts with oxygen, it oxidizes. It forms red iron oxide, what we commonly know as rust. So, when this iron-rich brine flows from the glacier's cracks, it creates the breathtaking sight of blood falls. But the story doesn't end there. Recent research has uncovered even more complexity. Using transmission electron microscopy, U.S. scientists analyzed samples from blood falls and found that the red fluid secrets go far beyond just iron oxide. Researchers discovered that the red color of blood falls comes from countless tiny particles, nanospheres 100 times smaller than a red blood cell. These nanospheres contain iron, silicon, calcium, and minerals like jadeite. And yet each nanosphere has a unique structure and composition. No two are the same, because they lack a crystalline structure. Traditional mineral detection methods couldn't even spot them. Even more astonishing, in the briny waters beneath the Antarctic glacier, scientists also discovered ancient microorganisms. These microbes may have adapted to such extreme conditions millions of years ago. The iron and salt-rich water provides them with a niche to survive. This discovery is groundbreaking for science, not only because it shows how life can endure in Earth's harshest environments, but also because it may provide valuable clues in the search for life on other planets. Even though we now understand how blood falls forms, this natural wonder still holds many unanswered questions. For example, how can this iron-rich brine remain stable under the glacier for such a long time? Does this mean there's a larger, more complex subglacial system beneath the ice? In the snowy wilderness of Antarctica, blood falls is like nature's bold brushstroke, a vivid splash of color against a white canvas. It reminds us not only of the majesty and mystery of nature, but also makes us realize our planet still holds countless wonders, just waiting to be discovered. An unknown world waiting to be explored and understood. 5. The Door to Hell. In the vast Karakum Desert of Turkmenistan lies a place that sends shivers down the spine. The door to hell. This land looks like a gateway straight into the underworld. Boiling mud and roaring orange flames burn fiercely from a pit that seems bottomless, as if demons themselves were raging beneath the earth. Terrifying as it may sound, don't let the name scare you away. This place is actually a massive, natural gas crater that's been burning for decades. It's also considered the most terrifying flaming crater on Earth. The story of the door to hell begins in 1971. At that time, Soviet geologists were exploring for oil in Turkmenistan. During drilling, they accidentally created a massive gas crater, around 70 meters wide and 30 meters deep, covering a total area of 5,350 square meters, when poisonous gas began leaking from the hole. Scientists came up with what they thought was a simple solution. Set it on fire? They believed the flames would quickly burn off all the natural gas. Then the pit would go silent. But things didn't go as planned. The fire never went out. Now, over half a century later, the flames are still burning endlessly, lighting up the desert night like daytime. It has become a hauntingly beautiful sight. In this remote part of the world, though mesmerizing, this fiery crater has been a long-standing disaster for Turkmenistan. The flames, burning day and night, have consumed valuable natural gas for decades. It's estimated that this eternal fire has caused around $50 billion in economic loss. And the methane released by the burning gas is far more destructive than carbon dioxide, making Turkmenistan one of the world's top methane emitters, has been one of the major contributors to global greenhouse gas emissions. At international climate change conferences, Turkmenistan has pledged to reduce its greenhouse gas output. Yet the ever-burning flames of the crater remain a major obstacle to that goal. Faced with this smoldering and troubling door to hell, the Turkmen government has made several attempts to extinguish it. In 2010, President Berdimuhamedow ordered the search for a way to put out the fire, but no effective solution has ever been found. In 2013, another attempt was made to extinguish the flames. But again, the effort ended in failure. In November 2020, Turkmenistan's government announced that citizens would no longer be allowed to visit the crater without special permission. However, this restriction did not apply to foreign tourists. Although fewer than 10,000 people visit the site each year, shutting down the door to hell would be a heavy blow to Turkmenistan's tourism industry. The door to hell, a fiery crater burning for over half a century, represents the wildness of nature, the helplessness of mankind, and a scar on Earth that may never heal. If you ever get the chance, stand in the desert, bathed in the glow of this eternal flame. And in that moment, you'll feel a sense of awe beyond words. 4. The Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle lies in the North Atlantic Ocean. Its three corners form a triangle, connecting the southern tip of Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. It covers roughly 1.16 million square kilometers, making it one of the busiest sea routes in the world. Ships and planes constantly travel through this region, linking ports in the Americas, Europe, and the Caribbean. However, this part of the ocean has gained a notorious reputation for one reason: mysterious disappearances. It has become one of the most unsettling places on the planet. Since the 20th century, the Bermuda Triangle has been the site of countless reports of vanished ships and aircraft. Some incidents occurred in broad daylight with clear skies, without any warning. In many cases, Not even a distress signal was sent. It's as if everything was swallowed instantly by a bottomless abyss. One of the most famous cases happened in 1945, when 5 TBM Avenger bombers, carrying 14 U.S. Navy airmen, vanished during a routine training flight. Even the rescue plane sent to search for them disappeared without a trace. It was as if the entire fleet had been devoured by the Bermuda Triangle. Not a single piece of wreckage was ever found. Behind these strange disappearances are even more chilling and bizarre reports. Many sailors and pilots who've traveled through the area claim their compasses stopped working or spun wildly, out of control. Radio communication would suddenly go silent, as if they had entered a forbidden zone, a place where no signals could pass. Even more strangely, some crew members claim to have experienced time jumps. Hours seem to vanish in seconds, with all sense of time lost. Faced with these mysterious occurrences, scientists have proposed several explanations. One theory is that large amounts of methane gas lie beneath the ocean floor in the Bermuda Triangle. When this gas suddenly erupts, it creates a sudden drop in water density, causing ships to sink almost instantly. Other scientists suggest that frequent storms and complex ocean currents might be responsible for many of the accidents. And some believe the region is a magnetic anomaly zone, where strong magnetic fields interfere with aircraft and ship navigation systems. But if these theories are true, why have so many missing ships and planes never left behind even a single trace of wreckage? Why do they vanish so completely, as if erased from existence? Why is time distortion reported only in this specific region? To this day, there are no definitive answers. As a result, the Bermuda Triangle has become a haven for conspiracy theories. Some speculate that aliens use this region to abduct humans. Others believe this mysterious sea zone is actually a rift in space and time, a gateway to another dimension. Some even connect the Bermuda Triangle to the legendary lost city of Atlantis, claiming that it hides ancient civilizations and supernatural powers. All these theories and legends have turned the Bermuda Triangle into the most mysterious and terrifying sea region on Earth. But to be fair, disappearance incidents happen in many oceans around the world. Statistically, the Bermuda Triangle doesn't have a much higher incident rate than other regions. In fact, in 2013, when the World Wildlife Fund listed the world's most dangerous waters, the Bermuda Triangle wasn't even mentioned. In other words, maybe, just maybe, the Bermuda Triangle isn't as terrifying as the legends make it out to be. Or maybe there's something we still don't understand. But either way, even if we never uncover all its secrets, the Bermuda Triangle will always inspire our imagination and curiosity about the unknown. #3. Skeleton Lake. In the towering Himalayas lies a remote high-altitude lake lost to time. This is no ordinary body of water. As you approach the lake, you'll see crystal-clear waters reflecting snowy peaks. But if you peer beneath the surface and look closely into the icy depths, you'll notice something chilling. Resting silently below are hundreds of human skeletons. These remains lie like ghostly sentinels, staring quietly through time. This bone-chilling lake is called Rukant Lake, also known as the Skeleton Lake. Located in the Himalayas of India, Rupkund Lake sits at an elevation of 5,020 meters, frozen under snow and ice for most of the year. The earliest discovery was made in 1942 when a forest ranger stumbled upon several bleached skeletons by the lake. But what he didn't expect was that as summer arrived and the ice melted, even more human remains would slowly emerge. Shockingly, many of the bones were still well preserved. Some even had flesh attached, a haunting glimpse of lives once lived. Alongside them were wooden artifacts, iron spears, and leather sandals. The discovery stunned the world. What had brought hundreds of people to perish in such a remote, frozen place? How did they get here? And what caused their untimely deaths? Thanks to modern science, new clues have begun to surface. Radiocarbon dating and DNA analysis revealed that the skeletons were not from the same era. Some dated back to around 800 AD, while others were from as late as the 1800s. Even more puzzling, the remains belonged to people from vastly different ethnic groups. Some had South Asian ancestry, while others showed traits linked to the Mediterranean. But the strangest detail was that most of the bones had no visible trauma, yet every skull bore a similar fracture. These identical cracks suggest a shared cause of death. But what kind of force could deliver such precise and fatal injuries? Scientists offered a theory that these people may have been groups of pilgrims on their way to a sacred site, but they were caught off guard by a sudden, deadly hailstorm. Large hailstones rained down like rocks from the sky, causing massive trauma to their heads. With no shelter in the open mountains, they had nowhere to hide and perished under the onslaught of nature itself. Rupkund became their final resting place, a frozen archive of one of history's coldest tragedies, and ultimately met their fate here. But why would these pilgrims choose such a remote mountain lake as their destination? Was it devotion to faith? Or were they drawn by something unknown? Every year, as the lake begins to thaw, the skeletons reappear beneath the surface, a silent reminder of a mysterious and tragic event. They lie like frozen fragments of time, whispering to those who dare approach, to uncover their untold story. Like ancient time capsules, these remains await the brave to unveil their truth. Number 2. Easter Island. Easter Island. A small, isolated land in the southeastern Pacific Ocean, roughly 3,700 kilometers away from mainland South America. The island's natives once called it the navel of the world. At first, even they weren't sure what that name meant. But astronauts later confirmed from space. This lonely island does resemble a navel floating in the middle of the sea, a tiny speck in the endless ocean. The story of Easter Island began over 1 million years ago, when volcanic eruptions beneath the sea formed the land we see today. But the world only learned of it in 1722, when a fleet from the Dutch West India Company accidentally came across the island on Easter Sunday, and so it was named Easter Island. Its most iconic symbols are the massive stone statues scattered across the land, the Moai silent guardians of the island's soul. Mysterious. They stand tall, watching over every corner of the island. According to researchers, around 900 Moai statues remain, Of those, 397 are unfinished, and 141 are still partially carved in stone. Interestingly, because of popular fiction and media, many mistakenly refer to them as Easter Island heads. The truth is, these statues actually have full bodies, but their torsos are buried beneath centuries of soil. Only their giant heads are visible above ground, giving the illusion that the moai are simply stone faces in the earth. In reality, they are much more. Most of their bodies remain buried deep underground, and because their heads are disproportionately large, many mistakenly believed they had no bodies. Among all the moai statues, the tallest one is named Paro. It stands nearly 10 meters tall and weighs an astonishing 82 tons. What's even more impressive is that an even larger unfinished statue was discovered. Had it been completed, it would have stood around 21 meters tall and weighed between 145 to 165 tons. The sheer size and weight of these moai raised the age-old question: how did ancient Polynesians carve, transport, and erect such colossal statues despite having names for them? The moai statues, the Pukao top knots, and the Ahu platforms, the island's Polynesian descendants, still don't fully understand the statue's origins and true meaning. Archaeologists believe that construction of the moai began around the 1st century AD, reached its peak in the 12th century, and abruptly stopped around 1650, as if someone had pressed pause, a disaster, still unexplained. Perhaps a volcanic eruption, an earthquake, or even a tsunami, ended the era of moai carving. Today, Easter Island's moai have far exceeded the boundaries of the island itself. They are now global cultural icons, symbols of lost wisdom and mystery. More than a dozen moai have been transported to museums and exhibitions around the world. You can now see them in places like the Louvre in Paris and the British Museum in London. Their global journey has inspired millions, giving people worldwide a close-up look at the grandeur of ancient human ingenuity. At the same time, it has made Easter Island a sacred symbol of mystery and wonder, a gateway into the past, and a destination for those seeking the wisdom of ancient civilizations. Easter Island now echoes with a name known across the globe. It stands as a monument to the unknown and the brilliance of our ancestors. Cover moment. Speaking of the most mysterious places on Earth, this is a haunting profile captured by drone footage. Deep, penetrating eyes, a perfectly straight nose bridge, tightly sealed lips, every detail rendered with stunning realism, yet embedded within solid rock, reminiscent of scenes from the Hunger Games, where the protagonist masterfully camouflages, becoming one with the environment. Is this nature's accidental masterpiece? Or the deliberate work of ancient craftsmen? A random result of geological forces? Or the intentional design of some unknown power? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Number 1. Lake Vostok. Finally, we reach the top of today's list. Everyone knows that across the vast expanse of Antarctica lies a forbidding ice sheet, covered by ice layers averaging 1,800 meters in thickness, clearly a frozen wasteland. Yet deep beneath this polar wilderness lies hidden a massive secret that captivates scientists. Lake Vostok. Lake Vostok. This mysterious lake in Antarctica's interior, buried beneath 4 kilometers of solid ice, spans an area of 13,000 square kilometers, nearly equivalent to North America's Lake Ontario. This lake was first discovered in the 1950s by Soviet scientists using seismic wave detection technology. However, it wasn't until the 1990s that scientists were able to drill through the ice and make direct contact with the lake surface. Since then, Lake Vostok has become a puzzle both fascinating and baffling. Today's Lake Vostok is not only Antarctica's largest lake, but also ranks among the world's most significant bodies of water, ranking 6th globally by volume, 4th by depth, and 16th by surface area. In 1996, Russian and British scientists, using ice-penetrating radar imaging and satellite radar altimetry technology, discovered Lake Vostok's astonishing secret. A small island exists at the lake's center. Even more surprising, subglacial lakes like Vostok number as many as 400 across Antarctica. They're even connected through underground waterway networks, forming a complex water system hidden beneath the ice. However, Lake Vostok's environment is extremely harsh. Water temperatures remain between -3 and -6 degrees Celsius year-round. The water is supersaturated with nitrogen and oxygen, at concentrations 50 times higher than ordinary freshwater lakes. Yet even in this extreme environment, scientists have found evidence of microbial activity. This proves that even under such extreme conditions, life persists with remarkable resilience. Worth noting is that Lake Vostok's environment closely resembles that of Jupiter's moon Europa. If we can discover life in Lake Vostok, could this mean that beneath Europa's icy surface, life might also exist? Lake Vostok, this lake hidden deep beneath Antarctic ice, is not only one of Earth's most mysterious places, but also our window into exploring life's limits. It forces us to reconsider life's possibilities on Earth and ignites our imagination about other life forms throughout the universe. Well, that concludes today's entire video. We've taken you on a journey through the world's 10 most mysterious places. Which one left the deepest impression on you? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and share it with your friends. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.